Welcome to the deep dive. We're not just scratching the surface today, we're going deep on a story that honestly feels like a turning point for how we work. You felt it too, right? This constant buzz about AI, it's everywhere, but it's moving past just being a tool for efficiency, isn't it? It feels like businesses are under this intense pressure now. Integrate AI or, well, maybe get left behind. It's changing the whole game. And right at the center of this whole conversation, this transformation, is Coinbase. Their CEO, Brian Armstrong, made a move earlier this year that was, well, it was bold, definitely controversial. He didn't just, encourage engineers to use the company's new AI tools. He actually moved to let go of those who weren't actively using them. Yeah, get this. And just to be clear, right up front, this wasn't some massive layoff for budget reasons. No. Sources like Fortune, CoinDesk, they reported it as pretty targeted. Small percentage, really. Maybe 60 people out of, nearly 3,000. And the reason given, officially, a performance issue. But the kicker is, that performance issue was tied directly to them not adopting these AI tools. So what do we even make of that?
It's way more than just a news blip, isn't it? This feels like a major case study. It touches on the future of work, corporate culture, the crazy pressures in tech, everything. So our mission today, let's unpack this. Let's really dig into the reasons, the implications, the tough questions this whole thing raises for all us dealing with AI. What's really going on here?
Well, what strikes me is that Coinbase isn't just, reacting to AI. They seem to be actively trying to engineer a workforce where that human-AI interaction, that's becoming the yardstick. It's not just about learning a new skill, like upskilling. It feels more like they're fundamentally redefining what skill even means in their context.
That's a really sharp point. Redefining skill itself. Okay, so let's get specific. This adopt or leave policy, what did it actually look like on the ground? Our sources say back in early 2024, engineers got access to some pretty powerful AI stuff.
Yeah, things like ChatGPT Enterprise, for coding help, brainstorming, and GitHub Copilot, which is like having an AI coding partner right there in your editor. Plus, apparently they had some custom internal AI tools built specifically for their blockchain work.
And the message was pretty clear, right? Use these, integrate them daily.
Oh, absolutely. It wasn't a suggestion. It was, from all accounts, a directive, a mandate.
And if you didn't?
Well, that's where it got serious. Leadership seemingly interpreted not using these tools as basically not being on board with where the company was going strategically. And that interpretation led directly to termination for some. It signals a real zero-tolerance stance on what they saw as falling behind technologically.
Wow. Zero tolerance. That sounds incredibly intense. And honestly, a bit risky for keeping good people, doesn't it? What could possibly justify that? What's the strategic thinking behind such a, drastic move? There has to be more than just be more efficient.
I think if you look at the bigger picture for Coinbase, it really comes down to a few key things. First and foremost, the competitive pressure. The crypto world, blockchain. It moves incredibly fast. It's fiercely competitive. And the leadership there seems to believe that the winning edge now isn't just smart people, but smart people supercharged by AI.
Recharged how?
Think faster product development, spotting security flaws quicker, reacting to market shifts almost instantly. They see deep AI integration as essential for all of that. So for Armstrong, having employees lag in AI adoption wasn't just inefficiency. It was framed as an existential risk, a threat to their survival.
An existential risk. That's heavy language. It really frames it as a life or death thing for the company. Does that feel specific to Coinbase's market, or is there more to it, like company culture maybe?
That's definitely the other big piece. Coinbase has always had this culture, right? High performance, push for efficiency, adopting tech early and aggressively. This policy just doubles down on that. It sends a super clear message. We value people who are right at the cutting edge of efficiency. We keep those people. They seem determined to avoid having an internal split, where some teams are flying with AI and others are stuck in the old ways. They want everyone operating at that top level.
Okay, so it's about maintaining that high performance standard across the board, using AI as the lever, but forcing that kind of standardization. There are always downsides, right? Letting people go costs money. You lose knowledge.
Oh, for sure. There are immediate costs. Severance, losing that know-how people carry in their heads, shaking up teams. It's disruptive. But the long-term bet, as they seem to see it, is resource optimization.
Yeah.
Big time. They're calculating that an AI-boosted workforce will eventually achieve much more with less. Faster time to market, fewer errors. So yeah, they likely see it as a painful investment now for much bigger productivity gains and agility later, a calculated gamble.
That definitely lays out their thinking. But like you said, gambles don't always pay off. And this move being so bold, it's naturally got people talking, raising eyebrows. It's a double-edged sword. Let's look at the potential good side first, from Coinbase's perspective. What are the hoped-for upsides?
Well, one big potential positive is creating this sort of baseline of high productivity. If all your remaining engineers are using these advanced tools effectively, you could, theoretically, lift the average output across the whole department. Everyone's got the best digital co-pilot, potentially leading to faster, maybe more consistent work, a new standard of operation.
A rising tide lifts all boats, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Systemic acceleration. What about the signal it sends?
That's huge, too. Internally, it makes the company culture crystal clear. This is what we value. Embrace AI, push boundaries. That clarity might actually attract talent that wants that environment, people already skilled in AI. You could get this positive feedback loop in hiring.
And externally, to the market.
It's a very strong signal to investors, competitors, everyone. It says Coinbase is all in on tech efficiency, on leading the pack. That could boost confidence in their future, especially in a volatile field like crypto. It's basically planting a flag.
No doubt, it's a powerful statement. But okay, let's flip the coin, the other edge of the sword. This decision brought up some serious concerns and criticisms.
Absolutely. And maybe the biggest one is the risk of losing really valuable people who just aren't early adopters of every new tool. Think about it. You could have an amazing systems architect, someone brilliant at complex problem solving with years of experience, but maybe they're just a bit slower to pick up prompting skills or resistant to changing their tried and true workflow.
Right. So the question becomes, is prompt engineering suddenly more valuable than deep, fundamental technical expertise? That feels potentially misguided.
It's a massive question. Are you accidentally throwing out the baby with the bathwater? Shedding irreplaceable talent because they don't fit this very specific, very new mold? That's a genuine concern.
And what about the people who stay? What kind of environment does this create?
Well, there's a definite risk of fostering a culture of fear, or maybe what you could call performative AI use. Meaning employees might start using AI just to pick a box to look compliant rather than using it thoughtfully and effectively. They might just run some basic prompts, not really leverage its power. Or worse.
Worse how?
Worse, they might be afraid to report problems with the AI tools. If they find bugs or biases or limitations, will they speak up if they fear it makes them look resistant or negative?
Ah, yeah. If you're scared, you're not going to point out flaws in the mandated tool. That could hide real problems.
Exactly. It turns a potential asset into a hidden liability if people aren't honest about its shortcomings.
Which brings up another critical point.
Yeah.
How much support did these engineers actually get before people were let go?
That's crucial. Was there enough training? Real comprehensive training? Was there mentorship? A reasonable transition period?
Because just throwing tools at people and saying use them or else, that doesn't sound like a recipe for success.
Precisely. Critics argue that forced adoption without robust support is often counterproductive. It leads to frustration, inefficient use, maybe even lower productivity in the short term. It needs careful management.
Okay, so stepping back from just Coinbase. This whole situation feels like a flashing sign for the rest of us, right? What does it signal about the future of work more broadly?
I think it's definitely a signal of a new era, perhaps. It highlights this shift where interacting effectively with AI, it's becoming a core competency, almost like, basic computer literacy became essential a couple of decades ago. Working with AI might be the next baseline skill in many fields.
That's a strong analogy. And it creates this tension, doesn't it, about what we expect from employees now?
It really does. It highlights two sort of competing views of an employee. On one side, the employee is the expert, the professional who should have the autonomy to choose the best tools for their job.
Right, trust their judgment.
But the other view, the one Coinbase seems to be embracing, sees the employee more like a node in an optimized system. In that view, standardizing on the most efficient tools, like AI, isn't just helpful. It's mandatory for the whole system, the whole company, to survive and compete.
Okay, but surely this adopt or leave approach isn't going to work for every company, right? It seems very specific.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely not. It's really important to stress this isn't a one-size-fits-all model. Not even close. Whether it makes sense or is even desirable depends hugely on the specific company culture, how intense the competition is in their industry, the type of work people actually do.
So what works for a high-speed crypto company might be totally wrong for, say, a hospital or a creative agency.
Exactly. It could be disastrous elsewhere. The context is everything.
That makes sense. So thinking ahead then, what are some of the bigger challenges that companies and employees too are going to face as AI keeps weaving itself into everything?
Well, one immediate challenge is figuring out how to actually measure effective adoption. It's tricky. How do you know if someone is really using AI well to boost innovation and quality and not just going through the motions?
Yeah, it's not just about usage logs. It's about the impact.
Yeah,
It's hard to quantify.
it really is. It requires new metrics, new ways of managing performance that look beyond just checking a box.
And that surely means training needs to evolve too.
Continuously. Businesses need to invest constantly in training. And not just, here's how you use the tool. More importantly, training on how to critically evaluate the AI's output, understanding its limits, its potential biases.
So teaching people to be smart collaborators with the AI, not just users.
Exactly. The human judgment part becomes even more vital, ironically, knowing when to trust the AI, when to question it, when to override it.
And managing the human side is such a big shift. The fear, the uncertainty,
Yeah.
that seems critical.
Absolutely paramount. Change management, clear communication. It's make or break. Employees need to understand the why. They need to feel supported through the transition, not just threatened. If that trust breaks down, the whole initiative can fail, no matter how good the tech is.
Okay, one last thought on challenges. Is there a risk that by pushing everyone onto the same AI tools, you might accidentally kill creativity, that spark of unconventional thinking?
That is a significant long-term strategic risk, yes. Especially in tech, where breakthroughs often come from weird, unexpected places. If you force everyone down the same standardized path, using the same AI prompts and workflows, do you lose that potential for radical, divergent thinking? Finding that balance efficiency through standardization versus fostering true, sometimes messy innovation, that's going to be a huge leadership challenge in the coming years.
So this deep dive really shows Coinbase's move. It's a high-stakes play, a real experiment. But it throws a spotlight on how central AI is becoming to business strategy and how the demands on all of us in the workforce are changing fast. It's like a snapshot of right now, but also maybe a glimpse into the future we're all heading towards. So for you listening, here's something to chew on. What does this shift mean for your career, your industry, even just your own learning? As AI gets more integrated everywhere, what skills are you going to focus on? And how will you personally handle that tension between using these powerful tools and holding on to your unique human creativity and judgment? It's a big question, probably one we'll all be answering pretty soon.